Bite my tongue? Never. See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYC podcast, and I'm just discovering the world around me.
Taisha, I love you.
It be like God is telling you to keep going.
You quit on yourself, you really down bad.
Tune in Wednesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. What's up, everybody? You're tuning into Behind Closed Doors with your host, Taisha, and today we are talking about true colors. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and we are about to get into it. So let's go. Now come give it to me. So we have all heard about how to make a lasting impression, and a good one at that. But is that truly what makes a person, the first actual interaction that you have with them? And if not, what does? So, like I said before, today we are talking about true colors, we are talking about intention, and we are also talking about impression. So, to get started, we are going to start off with the first impression, because that is the initial time that you actually meet somebody to see what they're talking about, what they got bringing to the imaginary table. No matter if it's for a job interview or potential friendship, potential relationship, potential whatever the relationship is going to be, we want to make sure that this is done properly. So why do most people think that this first impression is the most important out of all the interactions that you'll probably ever have? And you know what's crazy? Before I even dive into that, the first impression, are you actually going to remember it? Or is it just something that we have put into our heads? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out today. So, with it being one of the most important interactions that you have with a new person, this sets the foundation for years to come, right? So the reason that it is really important to do good is because you may never get another chance to have that person's attention after that initial meeting, and so you have to make it count, to be honest. Now, I do believe that the interactions thereafter are important as well, but that first time meeting, it really sets the tone, sets the mood for how you guys will interact thereafter, So the only thing that can really get in the way, I have about 4 things that come to mind when I think about factors that may skew the result of somebody making more so of a bad impression rather than a good one. So you can be nervous that day, or intimidated by position, which would be you would be sort of dropping the ball, because that could lead to missed opportunities. When people talk to you, they want to know that they are giving a position, and this goes for any type of situation, whatever the position is. They want somebody confident and sure of themselves, that know that they could handle whatever this person is about to throw at them, whether it's an assignment or it is questions or tests or anything. They want to feel comfortable enough to know that, hey, if I give you something, you got my back and we can do this together. We're a team. It may not seem like that, but people are looking at everything. Especially in the beginning, they are looking for commonalities between you two. So if you are being nervous, you may start tripping over your words or saying things that you won't even normally say, but now you're super nervous and intimidated that you don't even know what to do. So that is one of the environmental factors that could I can't get my words, you see, but if I chill, take a breath and talk, I could do it. So the intimidation part, I want to kind of dive into. Nobody is better than you, and that is not on a cocky level. That is to keep you on the same grounded level, so you don't have to trip up and feel like, oh, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm this? Or what if they don't like me? You're the best thing to happen to them. You have to feel that, because if you don't feel that, how in the world do you expect anybody else to believe it? So in a sense, fake it till you make it. And that song, what? Piranha. Yeah. Okay. So the next one may not be having a good day. You may be having some personal issues going on at home or in your life. But guys, if you can hold that back till after these little 5-10 minutes of you interacting with this person, because it really could be life changing. This could change your whole day around, could change your whole year around. You could gain so many opportunities by just being that person that can separate personal from business, or personal from relationship, or wherever you're going with this. I had to put a lot of things aside to be able to come out of different shells that I never knew I had, because normally I'm not really a nervous person. So when I got to like college, I noticed that sometimes I do get a little more anxious than other times, depending on the situation. Like when I had to take public speaking or communication or whatever the class was, and I was like, oh my gosh. But as I started feeling more comfortable and looking at people as if, hey, I know these people my whole life, it's okay. Even though I didn't, I was faking it, but I know that I'm more comfortable around people who I feel I can talk to, which are friends and family and things of that nature. So it was easier to let it flow. It was more natural when it came to like reciting my speeches and doing things of that nature and giving presentations. Like normally it's like, I had this feeling in my gut and then I speed past everything. But once you just slow it down, mellow it out, and like, hey, I got this, you good for real. My third one is trying too hard and not being authentic. So with you not being yourself, and this is not part of faking it till you make it, because I feel like everybody has a confident factor, but when you try too hard not to be yourself, that's when you end up faking yourself out, because you think like, oh, this person wants this type of person. And honestly, if you would just be yourself, 9 times out of 10 people are gonna love you, if you're not that person or whatever. But for things that are important to you, don't try to overdo it or act as if you know more than you don't. Because if they start asking you questions about things that you acting like you know about, you're going to end up looking crazy. And then they're going to be like, clown. This is a clown. It's the clownery. And also, my last one is just not having confidence in yourself at all. So you can, I feel like my advice is tailored to whoever it touches. You know what I mean? No specific piece of this, or even all 4, will apply to everybody every step away. You know what I'm saying? Because you have those more confident people, you have those more nervous people, you have different type of people, so just know who you are and go in and do your best. So what do I really think about the first impression? I do think is a foundational building block to future opportunities, but is it the most important? I don't believe so. Now we're going to get into true colors, which is time goes on and people won't have the ability to keep up the forefront or the act that they have been putting up for you. Sometimes, and I hear this a lot when people start talking to new people and they're like, oh, I have to be this cool, funny, sweet, all the good qualities to, bring it in and piece it together to make somebody want to stay around them. Me, I'm gonna just be real. I don't do that. I try my best not to, actually. So I keep my attitude, I keep my smart mouth, I keep all of that, because that's who I am, and it's so much easier to be me instead of being like this sweet, innocent, charade. I'm not finna do it. I'm sorry, but you are not that important to me to be faking. It's just, I'm not doing it. It's not in me. So for me, my true colors usually come out in the forefront. I try to let them know like, hey, I might be happy now. It might not be like that every day, but at the end of the day, I care about you. I love you. If I love them, I tell them that. But if I don't, then I care about you. Y'all know the drill. But I think the true colors, what someone's true colors is depending on the patterns that they leave in their daily life, right? So just because somebody yells at you or cusses you out one day, that may not be them. They might just be frustrated and you just need to communicate. But if they constantly do it, they constantly putting you down and making you feel so bad about yourself or whatever the case is, and whatever, that's when you have to look and see like, hey, what is causing these triggers for this person to be acting like this, right? So yeah, you definitely need to pay attention. That's so important. Just pay attention to what's going on, what's being said, what's being done, and then that's when it comes to you. Do you want to be miserable and put up with this foolishness forever, or do you actually want to dissect this, be grateful for what has come into your life, and respect that somebody's being upfront with you? But everybody's situation is different, so you can't really, you got to decide for yourself. Is this a facade, or is this, real life? Like, that's what you got to do. So when they do show you their real colors, believe them, because they're going to be leaving all sorts of clues. And it was something that I heard on TikTok the other day, or maybe it was today, I don't know. But it was basically saying that people's, like, the way that someone is probably how they were in the beginning. Due to the fact that you probably like somebody, which you will take out all of their bad qualities and excuse them for that moment because you wanted things to work. You want to be happy. You want to force that, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. So you could have avoided 2 years of heartbreak in 2 days, 2 months, anything less than 2 years if you're catching my drift. But yeah, that's definitely up to y'all. Tough situations where you have to make bigger decisions about who you are and who you want to surround yourself with. So if this person does not match your energy or doesn't match who you want to become or who you aspire to be, if you don't like that, do not include these people in your future plans. Do you hear me? Do not include these people in your future plans, because what are you doing? Y'all not hearing me? But we're going to go ahead and get to the third topic of tonight, which is intentions. How do you know someone's intentions? Let me tell you, it's going to be the craziest answer, but I'm telling you, restriction is not the answer. When you don't allow people to be who they genuinely are, they are going to try everything your way. And that's not going to do anything. Pretending to be somebody for somebody, it's not going to get you anywhere, and it's not going to get them anywhere. You have to let people be their whole naked self. Seriously, because if you don't, all it's going to be is a lot of people pleasing, and then once they get tired of that, who knows what's going to happen. So just like there's a saying where it's like, oh, it's not about where he wants to be, is where he is, or something like that. You have to let them make mistakes. You cannot avoid or try to block out every bad thing that's going to happen to you in your life, because then you won't know what to do when things blow up. So I say you have to let people show you what they'd rather be doing at all times. If that person isn't calling and texting you, they don't want to talk to you, obviously. If that person isn't coming to see you and be around you and spend time with you, that means they don't want to. I mean, it's as simple as that. It took me, and believe me, I've been in this situation before. I've had times where I'm like, oh, maybe he stopped, No, because then you have to think about yourself. If you didn't want to do something, are you going to do it? 9 times out of 10, no, you're not. Because why? You don't have no reason to if you don't want to. So you have to look at other people in the same light and keep it like that, so you don't end up getting your feelings hurt. But behind closed doors, tell me how you feel. Has this ever happened to you? Do you think the first impression is the most important impression, or do you think, multiple interactions is more important? Or is it about the person who they are becoming? Is it the person that they are? Like, tell me what y'all think. I want to know. So yeah, with that being said, y'all can tune in next week for another awesome topic. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I know it's going to be worth it. So you can please smash the notification bell and like, share, comment, do it all you have to do to interact with this video. Get it out there, because I got a lot to say. Hey. Sorry, it's late, but alright, so I am gone, and I'm Taisha, and I promise I will never, ever, never, ever, never, ever bite my tongue. Bye, y'all.